All right, we are live on, I was going to say Facebook, YouTube. So I'm just waiting on the video to connect on my other monitor so that I can grab that link and put it in our free business mastermind group so that our community can join us live on YouTube and in the live chat at their convenience. Okay, let me drop that link. I got it. Let it finish spiraling out. All right, let me make sure that I can see our live chat. And I can. So we can officially get started now. All right. So, welcome to your First Six Figures Morning Show, where every show is intentionally more of an interactive coaching and training experience to position you, the online service based entrepreneur, to generate your first six figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. All right. So, this week's blog is at shaycannon.com/over. That's shaycannon.com/over, because what we've been talking about this week is stop overcompensating and under delivering, well, I should say under earning, I'm sorry, in your business. Overcompensation in business often stems from a well-intentioned desire to provide more value, prove standing out, and be secure in your success. However, at its core, overcompensation is the act of overdoing, overgiving, and creating more than what is necessary, often to compensate for perceived shortcomings or insecurities. And ain't nobody got time for that, all right? This week, we're discussing 4 areas in business that entrepreneurs tend to overcompensate. On Monday, we talked about in the creation of your offer, you are overcompensating. When you just come up with what you're going to sell, you're overcompensating. And if you want to know about those ways that you're overcompensating and you want 10 actionable steps not to overcompensate with your offer, go to Monday's replay because that was part 1. Then we talked about a lot of entrepreneurs overcompensate in marketing. Some of you are over marketing. And I know that might be the first time you've ever heard of that, because you probably are thinking, how can I over market? Everything I do for marketing should be good, right? Well, no. And if you want more about that and 10 actionable steps not to over market, then go to yesterday's replay. That was part 2. Today, we're on the 3rd area of business that entrepreneurs tend to overcompensate, and that is with your resources, okay? Your resources. So, entrepreneurs who overcompensate with resources often mistake quantity for progress, okay, or even quality. Investing in too many tools, too many systems, or too much education without clear priorities that create unnecessary complexity, y'all. Okay. You're leaving you overwhelmed and unable to fully utilize what you have acquired. So let me tell you what that means in short terms, because I feel like that was way too many words to say. You are invested in too much shit and you ain't using it. All right. Good morning. Okay, so this overuse of resources not only drains your finances, but also distracts you from the core activities that drive revenue and drive impact. So, true efficiency comes from aligning your investments with your strategic needs. Ensuring that every resource contributes to measurably growing your business. By focusing on what truly matters, entrepreneurs can maximize their outcomes without wasting time, money, or energy. Okay, because those are your chief resources. So that is what the blog says. Let's get into giving you more. I'm finding these show notes because here in the morning show we give you more than just what is in the blog. Okay. So I have 10 actionable steps to help you not to over allocate your resources, okay? Over allocate your resources. Now, if you still don't understand what I'm talking about, let me give you some examples right quick, okay? Some of you are tech hoarders. You're tech hoarders. You just keep buying tech because you feel like you're going to need it. You're going to use it at some time. AppSumo keep getting you with the lifetime $67 or something you ain't going to even use 67 times. Yeah, things like that. Or you say, hey, I need to run Facebook ads. Let me go learn how to do Facebook ads. When everything is not learning what to do. Some of that stuff is you got to learn how to hire somebody to do it because it's a specialty. There's no way you're going to learn enough to really truly do it the way that you need to be able to do it, right? So those are some examples of how you are over allocating your resources into things that either are not going to be valuable to you right now or in the long run or at all, okay? Because business changes too much and you need to focus on what you need right now. Some of you are overcomplicating and overwhelming yourself because you're trying to go ahead and buy into and invest in everything you think you're going to need. You don't even know if you need that yet. Focus on what you can learn right now that's going to help you right now, that you're going to start implementing right now. Okay? Stop investing in things that you are not ready to take advantage of or pull out the value of. Okay? So those are more examples in case you felt like, what does she mean over allocating resources? Well, stop buying shit you don't need right now. Focus on what you need right now so that you can push your needle to the next step. And then when you get to the next step, reevaluate what you need for that step to get to the even next step. Okay, that's what we need to do. So I'm gonna give you 10 strategies to specifically do that. The question of today is, in what ways might you be over allocating your business resources? And you're gonna let me know if one of the strategies is able to help you with that. And when we get to the round robin, we're going to start with Dr. Latoya. I think that's why Dr. Tachi came in early today. She was like, she is not calling on me first today because I'm sick of this. But let's go through our 10 strategies. All right. So number one, prioritize tools that solve immediate needs. Okay, I just kind of said that one, right? So focus on tools and software that address specific pressing challenges rather than investing in platforms you may not fully utilize, or you don't even know if you need it right now because you're not at that stage of business yet. Okay. I'm gonna tell you one of the ways that I've wasted money is not just buying into software and stuff, but saying upgrading my software and stuff. Like I remember at one time I said, oh, okay, I learned this webinar method. I'm gonna start doing webinars. Let me go ahead and upgrade my system to include webinars, right? Baby, I didn't run a webinar for a year. I done paid that thing every month for a year, hadn't run a webinar yet. So yeah, immediate needs, okay? Number two, adopt the just-in-time learning approach, okay? So learn new skills or take courses only when they directly apply to current projects or goals, avoiding unnecessary educational endeavors, okay? Or even detours, because sometimes y'all are being distracted by all the stuff that you're investing in, okay? So just be careful. And of course, I name time as one of your resources, by the way. All right, number three, benchmark. Don't obsess over your competitors and comparing, okay? We want to benchmark. We just want to use that information at strategic times. So study competitors for inspiration and trends, but avoid mimicking their every move, okay? Focus on leveraging your unique strengths instead, because all the time, you don't know exactly why they're doing what they're doing, okay? And so you're mimicking from the outside looking in, when I have this saying, and that is, you can only reverse engineer if you're an engineer, okay? You have to you never know why people are doing what they're doing, and then you go to do it, you don't get the same result, or you're out of more resources than they would have been because you don't know what partnerships they have, all of that kind of things. Let me give you an example, okay? We have some people who give these very valuable events, and they either give them for free or they give them at a low cost, right? Because they know what their closing rate is, and they know that they're going to sell from the stage and they're going to make these many thousands of dollars. That's why it was low cost or free. They are going to recoup all of the money that they paid on this thing. But here you come wanting to have the same kind of event, coming out of pocket, asking other people for services for free, doing all of these barters, and then you have the event, you don't even pitch anything at the end because you didn't recognize that a part of their engineering was the most important thing. So you just ask out of money. Okay, because you're doing what you think is the same thing, but it's not, and you're not doing it for the same reason. So be careful about looking on somebody else's paper because you don't know. You might flunk the test looking on their paper. Okay. Number 4, simplify client communication. Okay, simplify client communication. Use concise, clear messaging and standardized templates to avoid overcomplicating client interactions. Okay, streamline your communication. It's going to save you time and it's going to avoid confusion. One of the first things that I do is when I know that I'm going to have to say something over and over again, I go ahead and make a template. Right? Dr. Tachi received her snapshot last night. I knew that in this snapshot process on how I have changed the pick my brain session, that everything that I did, I just made it a template. Right? So the email that I used to recommend pick my brain session, that is now a template. It's a script. Okay. The email where I said, hey, we had your session. Here's the replay. And this is the date that I will deliver now that's a template. The email I sent her early this morning where I delivered it, that's now a template, right? The document that I use to deliver the information is now a template. So when you are creating these offers as a service person, we already talked about many weeks ago that we're going to create phases. But in each phase, as you're going through the client journey and you know that you're going to have to do this over and over again, go ahead and create the scripts, the templates, the thing that's going to allow you to communicate the same each time. Okay. And guess what's going to happen? When you hire your VA, you already have this stuff in place. You already have it in place. Hey, use this script to deliver this. Use this script to respond back about that. So we love us some scripts and some templates. Simplify your client communication. Number 5, set actionable deadlines. Okay. Set actionable deadlines. Break down your plans into actionable deadlines, actionable steps with deadlines to avoid getting stuck in over planning and analysis paralysis. Let me tell you how you might not know it by looking at me, but I can be a huge procrastinator. On top of that, I can be a huge over planner. I'm a big perfectionist. Okay. So one of the first things that I do, you know what, Dr. Tachi, you're not going to be giving me the eyes. You already got your 2 episodes. Look, that took a lot out of me. You know, that took a lot out of me to give you them episodes all early with all that runway left. Come on. You know, I was going against my nature, getting you that stuff. But what I tend to do now to help me with my perfectionism is I know I like to plan. I'm not going to not be a planner. That's who I am. So when at the beginning of something, when I'm setting the duration that I'm going to give myself, I say, okay, Shay, how long would it take for you to do this thing? Okay. And do it well. Oh, 2 weeks? Okay. Okay, girly, I'm going to give you 3 weeks and you better hit this deadline because you are totally ridiculous if you don't. And let me tell you how I'm still going to be ridiculous, but I'm probably going to inch right on up into that deadline. Okay. So set actionable deadlines for your stuff so that you are not just over here spinning your wheels and planning and never do anything. Number 6, test before committing. Okay. Test before committing. Some of us come up with great new offers. We want to go full steam ahead. We want to start branding it and changing stuff and all this kind of stuff. Always do a test run first. What you might find is when you do it the first time, you might not never, ever want to do it again. So let's not go all out and start creating all this stuff for something that we haven't done yet. Test first and then commit. That's just one example. But before investing in tools, in software, and even the offers and services that you give, test free trials, do a minimal version, run a beta version, all of these things to determine their true value for your business and whether or not you actually want to use it. There have been so many things that everybody has recommended before. And I was like, oh, these some good people that's doing good business. And they recommended this too. They're all recommending this too. So I guess that's something I need to buy into. And then I go and try to play with it. It's not user friendly for me at all. Like, no. Not at all. I'll give you a great example. Asana as a project management system. I love Asana. Why? Because it's easy to use. It's easy for me to use. It's easy for me to bring team members in to use. It's even easy for me to bring clients in to use, right? But Asana is not pretty. It's not pretty at all. So when they came with Trello and ClickUp and all these things, you can add color and make it pretty. Oh, I like pretty. Yeah, until you go over there to try to use it. The color is going to be the last thing you worry about, the background, because you can't find the button for this, and then this little thing ain't working right. It's not notifying you, so you have no idea that clients are talking to you until they tell you on another platform. Ain't nobody got time for that, okay? So sometimes you need to try things out before you commit. All right, number 7, embrace imperfection. Ooh, I wanted to throw up just then. Let me just tell you. Embrace imperfection. Aim for progress, not perfection. Maybe you've heard it a different way, and that is done is better than perfect. Woo-hoo. It kills me. I think my chest burning. It kills me every time, y'all. But it's true. Okay. So when you are doing things, when you are launching things, when you are creating things, I want you to understand what's enough. Okay. What is enough? What is the main goal? Okay. It's kind of like what we talked about with your offer. What is the straight line from A to B? What is the lowest viable product? What is the lowest viable end result? Let's go for that before we start committing to going past that, because past that is what we really want, that fantasy version. But if we can do the lowest thing, the what do we call it, minimal viable version of it, then we can always refine it later, especially when we put it out there and get real world feedback. I'm gonna tell you, when I started really thinking about what is the shortest A to B to get the transformation that I have promised, what is the actual lowest viable, valuable version of it, I love that now. I love it now because it gives me room to apply some upgrades to it later on. It gives me room to partner with the person I'm serving to actually bring in upgrades that they would actually value. So let's get going with the lowest viable value version of things. Embrace imperfection, and done is better than perfect. Number 8, limit resource spending budgets. Limit resource spending budgets. So set a clear goal for your tools, your courses, and other resources to prevent from overspending. Okay. Again, if we want to talk about what a budget is, it is not to restrict you and stop you. It's to make sure that your funds go to things that are important, that they go to things that are of priority. Okay. First, that's what a budget does. When you set budget limits, it stops you from over allocating. Okay. One of the ways that I'm doing that right now is with paid ads. Okay. I'm over here testing some things in paid ads on different platforms. And so I have a limited budget so I can study this data. I don't want to just start with $100 a day and I don't quite know what the algorithm has changed into, or I don't quite know if this is going to get, what type of result is it going to get for my $100 a day, that type of thing. So we want to limit resources or resource spending on budgets for things that we need to test out. Okay. Number 9, focus on return on investment. Focus on return on investment. Some of us get caught up in the steps that's supposed to get us the investment. Some of us get caught up in just buying stuff that's supposed to help. Let me tell you how y'all get on my nerves when y'all just invest in stuff to make yourself feel better, make yourself feel like you're doing business, to make yourself feel like you're where the other people are that bought that and are actually using it. I love y'all, but I swear to God, it gets on my nerves. It get on my nerves because I want you to do the thing, because the purchasing of the thing is not going to give you the return on investment. That's just the investment. When you do what you need to do, that's how you inch towards getting a return on your investment. Okay. I'm gonna stop fussing up. So focus on the return on investment. Evaluate the return for every resource you use or every resource you're thinking about investing in. If it's a tool, a course, a strategy, if it isn't delivering measurable results, you gotta cut it. Okay. Get rid of it. Okay. This is people, places, and things. If it's not doing what you needed to do, get rid of it quick. I invest in things quick sometimes, but I also get rid of that thing quick. Okay. Soon as I realize, oh, this is not it, coming right on off. Okay. So I need you to be forward motion real quick. Test it out. Does it seem like it's going to work? Does it seem like it's going to get what you need? If not, let's let it go. Okay. Last but not least, number 10, you need to audit and optimize every now and then. That's when you know how to let things go. Regularly conduct an audit. Look at your tools, your systems, your workflows, your team members. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, is this doing what we needed to do? I've given it this amount of time to do it. What does the data show? Okay. So you're going to remove redundancies, things that are, happening, the same thing happening in different areas that are not supposed to. So it's a double use of your resources. And we're going to optimize simplicity so that we have effectiveness and efficiency. Okay. Effectiveness and efficiency is what we get from simplicity. All right. So we all the time want to come back and look. This is what KPIs do. Those key performance indicators. They help us to look at stuff and see, is this working the way we need it to work? Is it actually giving us the return on investment that we need? All right. So again, the question is going to be, in what ways might you be over allocating your business resources? And was there a strategy in these 10 strategies that may help with that? I'm going to start with Dr. Latoya. I don't know if I was starting with her before, but she's at the bottom now. I felt like we lost somebody, but hey. But I'm going to give you the 10 real quick without all the extra. So listen up. Okay. Number 1, these are 10 actionable steps to stop you from over allocating your resources. Number 1, prioritize tools that solve immediate needs. Number 2, adopt the just-in-time learning approach. Number 3, benchmark, don't obsess when it comes to your competitors. Number 4, simplify your client communication. Number 5, set actionable deadlines. Number 6, test before committing. Number 7, embrace imperfection. Number 8, limit resource spending budgets. Number 9, focus on the return on investment, not just the investment. Number 10, audit and optimize periodically. Okay. So those are our 10 ways to keep us from over allocating. Dr. Latoya, in what ways might you be over allocating in your business? And was there a strategy that could help you with that?
Well, I definitely was like, I had too many tools or kind of redundant things. So I was like playing this platform and this platform. They all did the same thing. And going through, and so thank you for Go High Level, right? Because I have been able to cut out a whole lot of expenses and a whole lot of just tech that way. And not only has it saved money, but it is actually just more efficient, right? Because now there's just the one platform that does all of the things. And then the other one I'm going to say is the just-in-time learning. Chat GPT has helped me so much. Like if I'm trying to do a new platform or something that I'm kind of familiar with but not familiar with, I used to like go and look for YouTube videos and watch these long videos. Now I just go into Chat GPT and say, hey, are you familiar with such and such program? And then it says yes. I say, okay, great. Here's my problem. And then it gives me a lovely step-by-step on how to get to what I need.
I love it. I do something similar. My perfectionism comes in when it comes to using my Chat GPT. I don't be wanting all them extra chat conversations. So now that they have incorporated Gemini, formerly known as Bard, over there on the Google search, I just put a Google search in there to find out real quick. And it always comes up with Gemini giving me the step-by-step of stuff. And I look in there, I be like, oh, okay. And if that's my way of testing before I commit, and if I'm going to commit, then I'll take it over to my boyfriend, Chat GPT, and we'll get into a relationship about it. So I like that, Dr. Latoya. Love it. All right, let's go to Dewana. Dewana, in what ways might you have been over allocating in your business or resources? And was there a strategy that we talked about today that might be of help?
Good morning again. I don't know, just like right off the top of my head, what I might have been over allocating in, but I took several notes on what you were saying, and it just made so much sense. And so this might answer the question, like on the, like putting the cart before the horse. You can say, yeah, this is what you were over allocating. So to focus on solving immediate needs, that first of all keeps down anxiety. And
Mm.
then and then setting realistic deadlines is something that I learned a long time ago in corporate, because you can actually give yourself anxiety just by not setting and give yourself time. That's
Yes.
something I'm really, really learning. It's time. It's yours. So
Mhm.
give yourself that, and then just watch, everything flow the way it's supposed to flow. Don't compare. And that's something that already gets under my finger, under my skin anyway, especially like what I'm doing now, because my friends will always call me and say, "Hey, I saw somebody with some hats just like." No, you didn't. Nope, no, you sure did not. And
What the world? Like
and so,
that was helpful.
and so little things like that. Don't compare. Don't, and that helps you to stay in your lane. That helps me to stay in my lane, and it helps you to keep your value as well. Because when you start comparing, well, then now you're shifting your own value, and you're comparing yourself to somebody else, going, oh, well, maybe my price is too high. Maybe I need to do that. No, you do what you do, but be realistic and understand why you're using that comparison. It's not to compare. It's kind of like what you said. What was the word you used?
Inspiration.
Inspiration. Yeah.
Mhm.
And or motivation, for that matter.
That too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Love
yeah,
it.
that
Love it.
that was those were some of the things that I jotted down.
Thank
I
you, Demona.
You're welcome.
Look, you answered it and you put in some little value adds in there. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate you. I
Mm-hmm,
appreciate you.
mm-hmm,
And for you guys that are out there saying, what's the difference between inspiration and motivation? I understand that people get that confused, but inspiration gives you positive thoughts. Motivation gives you positive movement. Okay, that's the difference. All right, cool beans. Let's go to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, in what ways might you be over allocating your resources in your business? And have we named a strategy that may be of help?
I like the focus on return on investment. I
Yeah.
think, like you t generally talk a lot about how technology usually is the assistant for us at first, and then you see things and you're like, oh, this could be helpful here. And what I've found, though, is that initially some things I had separate functions, but then
Mm-hmm.
they added more features and they become more like each other. So now it's just a question of deciding, do I need both of them? Is this different enough, or does it solve the problem that I need, that I could get rid of the other one altogether? Or is it a janky version of it? So that's where I.
Because and that's why we have to take a look at the tools that we have. We need to pay attention to those emails they're sending us when they're saying, hey, we just released a new feature, or did you know that we upgraded this and that and whatever. Because sometimes, like Dr. Latoya said, you now have a tool that can knock out another tool. Now you need to test it before you commit to it, right? But yeah, I'll tell you, the other day I found out that the Microsoft Suite for Business has a booking tool, an appointment booking tool, and it's just about as good as Acuity. Yeah. So I set up a little booking page for a little appointment over there on that thing for because it's in my client system. And so I set it up over there. It's not for me and my clients, it's for me dealing with my clients' clients. Set up a little nice little appointment type. Recognize that it got all the things that Acuity got going on. I can block space. I can, tell you what the availability is. I can put in it, what is the grace period of you being able to book an appointment before or after. Is there a time of day to where I'm only going to do these appointments here? I mean, it got a lot of features to it for it to just be a part of that suite. And I was like, oh, this would definitely knock out any kind of Calendly or whatever that she might be paying for. So I need to let her know that in her business suite of Microsoft products, this is what she has. Also, I have recently come across the fact that if you have a business suite with Google, if you got G Suite or the Google Workplace as they're calling it now, they also now have a calendaring system that may be just as good as your Calendly and your Acuity. So you need to check it out because I told you guys that I wanted to do 48 podcasts in 2025. And I've started booking myself on these podcasts. And one of the ways I was able to do it is somebody had a Google Calendar appointment type. And I was just looking at it from, the making an appointment side, but I was like, oh, this got clear availability stuff and all of this. So We need to always be checking and just pay attention. Just glance at the emails that the technology that you're paying for sends you, because they very well could be telling you that they now offer a feature that you're paying extra money for elsewhere. So I love that you saying that, Dr. Tachi and Dr. Latoya. All right. Does anybody have any questions or value adds? Let me check this YouTube. We got a couple of people watching, but nobody's really saying anything over there, and that's fine. One day you'll say something, and we'll say something back. But Heather had to leave, but she said she just wants us to know that she buys too much shit and she don't use it. She's in the middle of doing something, so she had to go. But that's most of us, right? And this, if you take these 10 actionable steps that we talked about today, it's going to help you to keep more of your resources flowing toward what's important for now, right now. Okay, what you're working on now. I'll never forget when I stopped. I'm gonna say hoarding food. Okay, because I had an older lady explain to me that the average American hoards food and they have unliquidated assets in all the food that they bought. So if you got a bunch of deep freezer stuff, you got a bunch of pantry stuff, and all of that kind of stuff, especially when you don't have a huge family. Okay, especially when you're just buying it, but in the long run, is it really saving you money? Because most of y'all are buying stuff you don't eat right now anyway, and you go and buy more stuff. So there's a percentage of all the food you buy that just sits there. It just sits there, and it's unliquidated money. And from that moment on, I started shopping by the week, and I let my cupboards and my refrigerator get bare, and then I fill it back up. So I'm not ever really got food that I'm not using except for things like condiments, right? I don't. So yeah, all of my stuff gets bare. When I used to grocery shop by the month, but I had 3 boys, and what I recognized by 3 boys is if I shop for the month, I end up rebuying things that were meant to be spent over a month because they over there tearing it up. So it really helped for me to stop buying by the month and really do it by the week. And you only gonna get it this week. And guess what? You drink all that juice on Monday, then clearly you want to drink water until the time we buy groceries for next week. Okay. So think about that. Think about how you are investing money in things that you're not going to use right now, that's not going to give you a return right now, that you're not going to benefit from right now, but you now have invested money that could have stayed liquid and been ready for something else that you do need right now. So this is why we're talking about budgeting your resources and not over allocating. Okay. With that said, does anybody have anything that they want to say about that, a value add or anything? Or do you have any questions about overcompensating your offer, over marketing, or over allocating with your resources? Anybody have a question or value add? Dr. Latoya.
Yeah, I was also like, I went back and did my back bookkeeping, no judgment. So I had to do my back bookkeeping from 2023, and I did 2024 at the same time. But in that process, right, as I'm categorizing all of the things, I looked at my investment it was in 2023 specifically. I looked at the investment in trainings, right, trainings and programs, and I was like, whoa, you did way too much. Right. It was the look back that made me say, you just didn't need that much. Right. And so I had to, now I set a budget, right, for what I'm going to spend or where I can go higher in categories. But I'm also tying this to, a lot of people tend to always feel like we need to learn the next thing, or we need to do the next thing, or we need to have the next skill in order to be competitive or to be in the market or to do whatever. And the reality is, when I looked at most of those trainings that I invested in, I didn't even complete them. Right. I started it. And so it was really this wake up of you literally wasted money on something you thought you needed. Clearly you didn't need it, because if you needed it, you would have finished it. Now you're just out of money. And so really moving forward, asking myself before I make the purchase, are you going to do this thing? Right. Right now it feels good because the person selling it hit you with all the psychological triggers. They've been studying marketing and they got you. Right. But once we take the shiny off, are you actually going to do this thing? Is it going to bring you immediate value? Like you said. And the question that I ask myself is, what is the potential return on investment for this thing that I'm about to outlay? So just wanted to add that.
I love that. And another thing that I add, Dr. Latoya, and this is a recent one that I was bugging you about in your inbox, was this YouTube challenge, right? Before I even signed up for it, just piling up my inbox, I looked at my calendar, I looked at the dates, and I said, okay, can I reserve these dates to actually do this challenge? And then when I save that space on my calendar, I was like, okay, now I'm willing to sign up. So even though it's free, I'm still allocating my time. Okay. Or I'm allocating my eyes to see these emails popping up, making me feel some kind of way. And I have not allocated the time. So that is another good way to look at that. So thank you, Dr. Latoya. Does anybody else want to say anything about either overcompensating with your offer, over marketing, or over allocating of your resources? Anybody want to ask a question or say anything, have a value add? Tomorrow we're going to talk about your time. We're going to talk about time specifically, because you feel the over allocation of money as a resource. Some of y'all don't be feeling that over allocation of time. So I pulled that out. We're going to talk about that in detail on tomorrow. Since we don't have any questions or value adds, I'm going to go ahead and go to these announcements, because as you know, the morning show is a part of the value of our free business mastermind group. So we always have announcements for our group. Number one is going to be these 10 actionable steps to stop you from over allocating your resources, are only available on my show notes. And that is only available in two ways. And that's number one, you have to be a member of our free business mastermind group, and these notes live in the files section. Or number two, you can get the show notes and the entire morning show in your email inbox by signing up at shaycannon.com/show. You'll get 2 emails every broadcast day. Number one is a reminder for you to hop on YouTube Live so that you can be live with us. Number two is an email that's going to have 2 links in the afternoon, and that is one to the replay and one to the actual show notes. So go to shaycannon.com/show and sign up to get the morning show in your inbox. All right, Friday is a Get Shit Done work session from 1 to 5 for the paid membership, and the free group is invited to join us on the last half of that. So get the event details inside of the free group so that you can join us for our work session on Friday. To find out more about me, Shay Cannon, your host, and how you can join our illustrious free business mastermind, and any links that I've talked about today, look below in the description. If you have not already, please do me a favor and like this episode. We gave you all the value, so you should be liking our episode. Make sure that you are subscribed to our channel, and understand that today is just one part of a series. So make sure that you're checking out the other videos in the series. All right. All righty then. That's all we have for today. Have a great day. The studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dr. Tachi, stay behind for a moment, please.